reasonable. He's got a threat and some card draw. He's going to look to find some kind of removal, I imagine. And
Ben's currently looking for land, and I mean he found it, but at what cost? That's an Ataka.
Yeah, Ataka. I don't know that you want Ataka right now, but
no.
the Duskwatch could have been interesting. But yeah, he does just need to find that land.
So he's going to go possibly an Oath of Nissa next turn, I'm not really sure, but Evolving Wilds and then get that Canopy Vista untapped.
Okay, so draws another land there. I'm expecting Evolving Wilds.
That's definitely going to be getting a mountain.
Okay, going for the Oath of Nissa before fetching as well here.
Yeah.
So he's not looking to find that Duskwatch Recruiter or Ataka right now. He is looking for other cards.
It's also because he's put down at the bottom of his deck are 2 cards he wants.
Yeah.
And he's unlikely to hit them if he shuffles them in, but he might see some more cards that he wants. So.
Yep. So he hits 3 lands and then he just takes the red land, red green dual land.
Yep. That's a really good pickup for him because it means he can invest more into a white mana now.
Yeah, it is really going to smooth out his draw. He's been fairly fortunate. I mean, he's looked at a lot of cards to find the lands, but it really has worked out.
I mean, let's be honest, that hand would have been unkeepable without another Oath of Nissa.
Yeah, it would have been definitely a lot more shaky if it was just another random card. Yeah, and so as you said, he's gone and got the plains there, just developing his white mana, and then he's going to be able to get his red off that Cinderglade.
Or the Battlefield Forge.
Yep, finds another land there.
Sometimes you run good and you draw the lands that you need. He doesn't even bother with Cinderglade, he just goes into a fortified village. But yeah, you're playing Nissa there, and I think Nissa is another one of these reasons that this hand is so good. So Oath of Nissa, Nissa.
Yeah.
It's not bad.
He would like to stop drawing lands at this point, though, because he has found so many off these effects. But, each one he takes out, that's less lands that he can find, so should be good. We'll see if Tommy pulls the trigger on this Read the Bones here, or... Yeah.
I mean, it's going to help him get one step closer to Delirium, and he's got a couple of Mind Rack Demons in his hand, a couple in the deck. He needs to be putting some mileage into getting there. I think with Ben's, his deck's ability to get aggressive, any hits that Tommy takes off Mind Rack Demon will send him too far back in the damage race.
Yep, so I think that might be a land and an unknown that he's looking at there. It's a Pulse of Marasa. So pushes Pulse and then takes the land, I think.
Not many targets in the 6 life is almost irrelevant at this point.
Yeah. I think it might have been a blue land, which... Okay, so it's slightly awkward there because the way the game sort of played out, he hasn't got to cast spells on the earlier turns. He has to discard to clean up step there, discards a Hangerback Walker. But that does put both a creature and an artifact in the graveyard, so we really are getting very close to having Delirium online already.
Ego is going to tick up no madness value, but it means Ben's going to be able to cycle through some of those lands and draw into something better. Or more lands.
or he could destroy another land.
The option is always there.
But having that Nahiri to just get value out of these extra lands here is so good for Ben.
Yeah.
And he's just, developing towards that Avacyn, I suppose.
I mean, Tommy's making his land drops. That's a Mind Rack Demon. I believe it's the alternate art.
Yep, so we got the promo.
Another Mind Rack Demon, unmatching.
Okay, and we have Delirium now because we've spilled a land in. So
that's really good. I think if he'd missed...
Yeah, if he'd missed, it would have been a little bit awkward there, just because, I think this Avacyn is going to come down, and then any removal spell would open him up to really getting...
So Nahiri is on 8, so if... He's probably not going to get to finish it off with the Mind Rack Demon.
Yeah. That's going to be very interesting here, just to see if Tommy can find an instant speed removal spell to remove a potential blocking Avacyn here. Otherwise, I think that Ben is going to go looking for Dragonlord Ataka, right? So this is going to be a big turn in this game here.
Ataka, Linvala, another Nissa. Sorry, another Avison.
Okay, and we see that Tommy is tapping for the Gitrog monster before attacking. So
his hand has to be very empty for me to consider this the best play.
yeah, I'm not particularly sure. He's going to get a lot of value, but he's also going to struggle here with Nahiri ultimating, I think. If we do see this Avison come down and block.
I mean, if Tommy's gone ahead and tapped out, then
there's really not any
you
particular
don't even
reason.
have to kill the Mindrak Demon at this point. You're just blocking it.
Yeah, you don't really mind too much. But this is going to be a huge Nahiri ultimate, I think, here.
I could actually just see Ben ticking up a little bit. He's got.
I could also see. It's possible you could put a minus just so you have air superiority as well. But he does go for the ultimate there.
Yeah.
And then he's going to go and grab, presumably, the Dragon Lord Ataka and just remove.
The Mindrak Demon.
Presumably the Mindrak.
Well, I mean, it's only 5 damage by Ataka, and Gitrog's a 6/6.
Yeah. But he does still have all of his lands. Does he have any
He could
additional
actually
damage?
target his Nissa potentially if he wanted to. Actually, no, I think it is definitely opponents. So the broken play that we attempted to come up with 4 color rights was Ataka your own stuff, get your Avison to flip. Right?
Okay.
It doesn't work. Ataka says opponent. So I'm going to take back that statement and assume that Ben's going to target the Mindrak Demon.
Yep, so Mindrak Demon dies, and Ben just has a huge board here.
Yep.
Tommy is going to get to draw a lot of cards off this Gitrog monster, but this is just... Wow, he's just taking 12 damage straight here, right?
Tommy does have some languishes, but he doesn't really... And in One Dark Petition,
he's got to find something pretty excellent to deal with this Avison.
Nissa flips next turn.
Yeah, and then... Wow. So Ben has really been able to maneuver this game into such a dominant position because he now has that Dragon Lord Ataka in hand, which is threatening to come back down. He's got the Avison. He's got... Yeah. So we've just seen the power of Nahiri. She is quite vengeful.
She deals, 13 damage. Yeah, I think she's okay.
Yeah. It's not bad. Okay, so we see Mortuary Maya there. Sort of a little bit of an interesting card for Tommy. Puts the Mindrak back on top, I believe.
Yeah.
And plays another one.
Isn't he just dead? Because he plays Ataka. He Atakas the Mindrak Demon and attacks with Avison.
As things sit right now, it does look that way. It's just whether... Tommy does have one ultimate price that he can potentially...
So, we're just currently...
Yeah, just a little confusion on Gitrog Monster's wording in terms of lands going to the graveyard and drawing cards. It is whenever a land enters the graveyard from anywhere, so...
Traverse the Orphan one?
Okay, so Traverse looking for...
Anything.
Just not too sure what he's actually... So he gets the Dragon Lord Silumgar. Yeah, he obviously can't cast that one this turn.
So Ben's just explaining.
And Ben's just showing him the lethal and...
Yeah.
And we'll go to a game 2.
It was really interesting. I'd really be interested to see what Tommy's hand was there. Because honestly, I'd never considered any other mistake.
Yeah, it's a deck that we haven't really seen too much of, but that's the thing. Our top 8 today has been very diverse. We've got a green-red ramp deck, a green-black rights deck, green-white tokens, Naya midrange, Sultai midrange, Abzan Seasons Pass, mono-white humans, and then black-white control.
Okay, so Tommy's mulligan to 1 here. Mulligan to 6 here.
Mulligan to 1.
And scried to the top. His opening hand was 2 Hanger Backwalkers, an Obnixilis, Traverse the Ulvenwald, and a Yavimaya Coast, as well as a Mindrak Demon. And for Ben, we had a Gideon, a Stasis Snare, a Dem Protector, a Sylvan Advocate, and 3 lands. So a really good hand for Ben. a hand that needs some smoothing out for Tommy.
Mm.
If he takes too much pain off that Yavimaya Coast, it will punish him.
Yeah. So it does look like Ben did bring in those Gideons, and then we see Tommy just going for an early traverse here, and the Evolving Wilds just to work out his mana.
So Tommy actually kept a one-lander.
Okay.
So it was just the Yavimaya Coast in his hand with the traverse, and I think with the scry that's completely fine. On the play, however, it means that you may not be able to traverse until turn 2. Because you want to utilise that scry if you've kept it on top.
Yeah, that's true. That is something to consider. But I think in this kind of hand, that is sort of the power of Traverse. It is basically a land in that hand, but in the late game, you have the potential to just use it as a tutor to go and find a threat.
So in regards to our other matches, Daniel Zhao has beaten Arnold Lee 2-0. So Green-Red Ramp taking out Abzan Seasons Past. That's really disappointing. I really wanted to see Seasons Past get really far there.
What is that?
So
7-1?
what I actually think was the standings were misread, and I think it was actually Justin Trillium in first seed. We're just going to get that cleared up.
Okay, so we see a duress from Tommy here. He's brought in the duresses, presumably as well as the transgress.
Yeah.
And getting to see a hand with a couple of stasis snares, a couple of lands, and then some creatures. So, yeah, taking a stasis snare, depriving Ben of that removal. That is one thing that I would note about Ben's deck, is he doesn't have too much removal. He's basically limited to the stasis snares.
Since assumably the Silk Wraps
Yeah.
would come up. I suppose they're really good against hangerback walkers.
They're good against Hangerback, they're good against Sylvan Advocate. They can answer sort of like the one half of Den Protector, but it does seem, like Ben's deck is not going to be the best at coming back if it falls behind in this matchup. But I think on average, Ben's deck's probably faster than Tommy's.
Yeah. I mean, Ben's got a really nice hand, albeit 2 stasis snares.
Yeah, and he's found the Duskrotch Recruiter there, which he just plays out to start accruing some card advantage. I imagine we'll see some turns where he's just going to hold up Stasis Snare and then have the option to Duskwatch Recruiter if he doesn't need to. Okay, and we see a Transgress to follow up after that Duress.
To hit a stasis snare.
Yep. Oh, there was
That's pretty good.
Oh, I see. Okay, so I misunderstood what was happening last time. The Duress actually took a Gideon, which is already in the graveyard, when he was writing the hand down.
It's a Den Protector can bring it back. That's a declaration for Ben Johnson. Ben looks like he's got the creatures in check.
Yeah.
Tommy doesn't look like he's playing many though.
Yeah, that is true.
Tommy's Transgress, and then I'll tick up my Hangerback Walker. Keep in mind, Tommy did mulligan. Tommy kept a 1-lander with a Traverse. He's not going to have the smoothest right to winning this game.
Yeah, that was an interesting turn, though. I'm wondering whether Tommy has drawn that Transgress on that draw step there, because I imagine if you have the option of Transgress and Duress, and you're planning to do both of them, you presumably want to Transgress the Gideon rather than the
Duress?
Stasis Snare, just because you are playing against a green deck. He has a Den Protector, so yeah.
The Duress was in his opening hand.
Yeah.
It was not a Mind Rack Demon, it was a Duress. That was my mistake.
Okay, we just see Tommy ticking up Hangerback, and then... Okay, so Ben is flipping his Duskwatch Recruiter here, not activating in response, so representing Avacyn here, potentially, with the discount from the flipped Duskwatch Recruiter. But because Tommy does know so much about Ben's hand at this point, it's realistically just, Stasis Snare that is actually there. Do you think he fires off? Nope. No, he's chosen not to. But all right, just draws a land for turn. So
is Self-Advocate is one step closer to being language proof, I guess.
Yeah, it looks like he's chosen to sit back on that as well and just wait until the 6 lands.
He's
but
gonna
maybe
be able to, morphing the Den Protector,
Yeah.
flipping it, getting a Gideon next turn, especially while Tommy's so bottlenecked on mana.
Yeah, that's it. He did miss that land drop there. And we do get to see the power of this other side of Duskwatch Recruiter. Getting to morph the Den Protector for 2 mana, still leaving up the Stasis Snare, which, is going to stop Tommy from really being able to commit something large or really do anything too much with these Hangerback Walkers, I think.
So Tommy's made his 4th land drop.
Yeah, he's managed to find that Drownyard Temple there. Yep, and we just see Den Protector flip, and Den Protector's going to grab back that Gideon.
The Gideon's going to resolve, I guess. It doesn't look like Tommy's playing any negate effects. He has a Salunga's command, but of course that's 5 mana.
That is an interesting thing. His deck does look pretty light on the blue. So yeah, he has opted not to play any counter magic outside of the Silumgar's command, it looks
I
like.
believe it's a Salunga's command, a Dragon Lord Salunga, and a Lumbering Falls as the only blue spells he's decided to play, or blue requirements.
Yep. And then supporting that, he's got 3 Evolving Wilds, 1 Island, and 2 Yavimaya Coast, along with the Lumbering Falls itself. But I suppose he has the Traverse to go and find a blue land if he needs it. So it's a pretty interesting splash, almost 4 Lumbering Falls and Silumgar there, because I imagine...
We won our other tables. Justin Strong has beaten Robert Liu 2-0, so that was Black-White control taking down Green-White tokens. I must say, it's a pretty surprising result. Typically, Green-White is a great matchup against Black-White, and Black-White actually struggles against the density of threats that Green-White tokens puts out.
Yeah, just so difficult to deal with the big board and the Planeswalkers.
It's got everything. It's got creatures. Even when you Dromoka's command and try to target their Stasis Snare, they remember they've got an Oath of Nisser. It's really just quite a number of things there.
Okay, so Ben's found another Sylvan Advocate here. We'll see. Okay, so he's going for a Declaration in Stone on the Hangerbacks.
That is very savage.
Targeting the smaller of the two to...
It means if it gets sacrificed in any sort of way, he gets less Thopters.
Yeah, to ensure that there's less...
2 clues though.
Which the clues could be relevant here. I mean, he has 2 mana up, so he can potentially crack one of those.
But he is going to get hit for quite a bit, so
yeah.
Gideon's going to crack in for 5, 7, 10, 13. It's 13 points of damage coming across, and Ben's being quite aggressive in removing any kind of blockers.
Yeah, he's just pulled off the Stasis Snare on the Sylvan Advocate and Crunch. He's just
even
putting
though it's just a 2/3, even though it dies to anything but blocking the 2/2, and Tommy goes to 5.
Yeah, he's just turning on the heat and making sure everything that Tommy could draw to isn't realistically going to be good enough.
What does Tommy need to do here to win this game? Do you think it's possible?
So
is he drawing to secure the wastes?
He only has 5 mana, so Languish isn't good enough just because the Gideon sticks around.
What about Dragon Lord Silumgar?
Silumgar
takes the Gideon, makes a Naya.
Yeah, so he only has 5 mana, so he can't cast Silumgar.
Oh, that's true. Sometimes I forget that Dragon Lord Silumgar is a 6-drop. He's 5 in my mind. That's a really bad move on my part. 5 mana, and we see a Salunga's command. Destroy target, Planeswalker, -3/-3 to Den Protector. And so Needle Spires gets
Yep, and Ben explains that I have a Needle Spires, would you like to concede?
That's
and
one thing
Tommy
I really
shakes the
enjoy
hand.
about Ben's playing Magic. If he's got lethal, chances are he's going to tell you about it, but it's going to be polite about it.